told to form our own platforms and networks, and some people actually did, which was really, really cool. In fact, there's a bunch of platforms actually popping up right now on the internet and some of these apps. Well, in doing so, like I'll speak about Parler. There was some villainization happen with the creators of Parler, because they, obviously was a conservative alternative to Twitter. And some of you who are like really good friends of mine, people who I care about and love deeply, were like, hey David, why don't you guys actually do that? Just form your own platforms and go there. Well, here's the issue, and here's what happened. The big tech companies took it upon themselves to deplatform, to negate, and to remove and erase these platforms from existence. And then the government, some of these Democrat House members, some senators, used Parler as a way to, malign conservatives based off of the Wednesday riot that happened at the Capitol building. Well, understand this, a couple of things, okay? So there was nobody said anything on the Democrat side or the liberal or progressive side about any of the buildings in any of the states or any of the cities where people were supposedly peaceful protesting, when people were getting killed, where businesses were getting looted, and where monuments were being destroyed, federal buildings were being raided, and all that. They only said something when it happened at the United States Capitol. Oh, well, that's different, David, because it's the United States Capitol. Well, is it really? One was where the people who are the politicians and the elite, they go. The other one is where we go. So there is actually a big difference there. There's a difference between who's impacted and who's not impacted. So you have a separation there between what's elite and what's not elite. Now, are either of them good? No, they're both not good. But you gotta look at it from like a really intellectually honest perspective. That if you're going to come down on one, you gotta come down on them all, which means that, like many of us found out in the summertime, that Twitter actually has these open face, bold, without even knowing what these hashtags are. Hashtags that lead you right straight to child porn, that leads you to the exploitation of young minors. And it's right out in the open. If you don't know the hashtags, you won't know where to go to. And several of us reported those things because we saw them, because it was just like, is this really happening? And yeah, right on Facebook, right on Twitter, there are private groups, private rooms where people go to exchange child pornography. So you have the Libyan, you have the Iranian individuals around this world, political leaders who say that they're going to destroy America, that they want to destroy all types of things and wanted to do all types of things. But those things are left up because they say and have a specific message. But a Parler, which is supposed to be conservative, is taken down because it goes against the messaging. You got to understand something here, okay? You as a fair-minded American, you see these things, you see the hypocrisy, but you're not willing to stand up and say something. You have to say something, because you have to understand, you're next. You are next. And because you are next, because you are also on the chopping block, because right now you're being used for your silence. You not saying anything means that they can go ahead and do what they want to do against one group of people. This is what happened. Again, these are the Nuremberg laws, just put in a different context here in the United States and around the world. Certain people can do certain things of violence, other people cannot. Certain people can protest peacefully, other people cannot. Certain people can voice their opinions, other people cannot. And if you understand that, you understand what's happening here. So when people tell me, form your own platform, do your own thing, you're a capitalist, so do what capitalists do and do what you need to do. Okay, so when we did do that, the socialist, communist, Marxists actually took it down. That's what they did. That's what Marxists do. Any dissenting voice, any other means and methods to get information out is removed. So you as a fair-minded individual, you have to take into account what's really happening. That the voices of those who you oppose are being silenced. And if you are willing to allow that to happen because it doesn't align with what you believe politically, ideologically, and the like, then you are a part of the problem. I'm just calling it out what it is. Because if you truly understand what it means to be American, you also truly understand what it means to have a debate, and it means to have a difference of opinion.